Boom, there it is. Okay, big red button's been pushed. Welcome back, everybody. This is the Natives in America podcast, and this is Benjamin Wan, your host. And with me, as always, is Sky Anto.
Yo, how we doing?
Welcome back, people. We're actually not so many days into last week's episode. I think the last time Sky checked, he's up to 100. People, like and subscribe. Join the party. Let's keep this thing going. Tonight we got a subject that Sky has brought to me, and I don't even think he really meant to. He said he was making a joke, and it caught my eye. We discussed talking about Elon Musk, and we decided against that. Not for any real reason that either of us have said, but I think sooner or later it's going to come up. I kind of want to see what's going on with this whole Twitter purchase and what he's going to do about it. Even though I don't even use Twitter, I know it's important to a lot of people, and a lot of big names use it. So we'll see where this thing goes. Okay. Are you prepared to set us up here, Sky? All right. So I'll say the subject. It was what was it called? The 5 languages of love, right? We were talking about topics, and you're like, "Oh, what about this?" And you're like, "Ha," and I was like, "Oh, what about them?" and then you're like, "No, I was just joking." I was like, my interest is piqued. I hear a title like that, if it's a book or something, and I hear a title like that, and I just, I kind of, I don't want to.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like, get the fuck out of here. So, okay, set us up here.
All right, so, I was kind of surprised you didn't know it. Because, you usually know these books.
No.
These certain books. I'm like, oh, hey, that was Well, anyways, this has been around for quite some time. And there's a lot of versions of it, because it's a common, but I guess a lot of marriages have been saved because of this book. But it's called The 5 Love Languages, and it's a book by Garry Chapman.
Garry Chapman. I'm going to have to write that down right now. Okay.
Yeah, Garry Chapman. And so
a guy wrote it. I just want to point that out right now. A guy wrote it. Garry Chapman.
So a lot of times, and this is why I thought you might have heard it, because you'll hear people say, "Oh, my love language is words of affirmation," or they say, "My love language is physical touch." They'll start the conversation with that, because it's I guess the book's so popular that, and I guess even now, I don't know if it's a therapeutic thing, but my boss recommended it that I look at it, just because I went through it. I'll leave it at that. And so, and I just jump into the book because there's this relationships that we get in, and sometimes you drive the other person mad, or you feel they don't understand you. So this this book is a helpful way to get two people in a relationship to feel like they're being loved, and everybody feels love differently. And so this guy breaks it down into 5 different the 5 love languages, and then that kind of explains the relationship. And I guess that's why it's good for marriage, is because you're tied to somebody, and sometimes you gotta figure out what they like.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking like freaky deaky stuff. I'm just talking like, personality. Like again, like love is such a abstract thing, and we all have our own interpretations of it, or kind of know what we're talking about. I mean, probably say that you understand it better as you get older, but even then, like kids, you're taught how to love. At least you should be.
You hope so.
So yeah, so there are 5.
Okay.
And should I keep going?
No, I was actually going to stop you. Before you go into what they are, I have a question. When you were mentioning people refer to the book and they go, "This is my love language." Does that mean we all kind of have one that we kind of stick to?
So that's
hold on. Don't quite give me the book yet. So that's kind of part 1 of it, and then 2. Does the book eventually suggest we try to find ways to do all 5? So say I fall into one of these categories, and it's what I do. It's what I've always stuck to, and I see it as, this is the way I show my love. That's kind of how I'm interpreting this. Is like we all kind of fall into one of these categories. And maybe some of us do multiples out of the 5, but maybe the ultimate goal is to be able to speak all 5 languages.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. What?
Well, that's the podcast. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Okay.
It's like, yeah, they're broken down into those categories, but it's like, you might like something more than the other, I guess.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of like not prioritizing how you love, but it's like one might speak more to you than another.
Yeah.
Again, I think too it's a lot of how you're brought up, because like,
yes.
Someone that maybe didn't get a lot of hugs might not know how to hug.
Yeah.
Or might not like get the same reaction out of a hug that someone else does.
Interesting. Okay.
So there's 5 different love languages, and this is the Aquarius episode all over again, because because I was like again, I jokingly threw it out because I was like, no, Bob's not going to want to talk about this.
Wait a minute.
And usually I throw stuff in there where when we're joking, I'm like, we'll see what he'll say. And then I'm like, he's going in there, because there's a quiz you can take. Because I think that's after the book, you're kind of wondering, well, what's mine? Because because there's like,
I'm smiling.
Like, all the love languages are good things.
Okay. Yes.
But you might like one more than the other.
All right.
And so I did the quiz before I called you.
Yes. All right. Wait. How long is it? Is it something you could go through your answers? Are you willing to share your answers?
I don't even know if they're still saved.
Okay.
But you can take it after or later. But
Okay.
I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
Maybe we'll go through it on the podcast.
Okay.
But anywho, I did the quiz.
Okay.
And as I was about to call you, I'm answering these questions, and it tells you, gives the results after.
Yeah.
And I was pretty shocked, but also not shocked, because then I'm like, okay, all right. But then, like how you're saying, there's 5 of them, so why not be good in all of them,
or strive to be,
So I think it was almost like, even though I don't know if I should spoil it and share what mine was, but it broke it down into percentages, and it was almost like
okay.
It wasn't that higher than all the other ones. They were almost evenly.
For you, like your results?
Yeah, the quiz.
Okay.
But I don't know. Like I said, like I'm not against the book. I'm not saying this is 100% right, and we got to believe everything this book's saying. But I'm also like, there's some truth in it to where I'm like, okay, maybe that is how it is, and so maybe I'm self-sabotaging myself taking the quiz. But I tried to be honest and answer it what they're asking me, and yeah, I was pretty shocked with how it all came out and everything. Even what you're asking, like, well, what if you're looking to just be more than the one,
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my answer.
What?
So what you're asking, like.
Oh, okay. I thought you had given us what you felt, what category you fell in. I was like, I must have missed it. But okay, okay. You want to break down the 5 languages, and then like you want to call them out, and then give an example of each one, if you can, out of the book.
Well, I'll just name them because they're kind of pretty much
self-explanatory.
Explanatory as far as like. I guess the main one I always remember is, and this is what I thought what mine would be, and it's actually it's actually not the lowest, but it was lower than what I thought. I thought I would be this one, was the words of affirmation.
No.
Again, this is just what I was going off of with the quiz, saying that this was my love language, but or my main love language that I feel love the most, probably. But words of affirmation are kind of compliments, or telling somebody that that they're important to you, or just kind of saying those statements that that are showing love, and people like that. Some people respond more to words, and that's why I thought this would be what I thought would be.
You thought that would be your category?
That's why I mean I wouldn't rule it out, but then again, I also I don't know, sometimes we say shit we don't mean, or I know language is, I want to say a tool, but it's a pen. Yeah, you write stuff, you can say stuff. So I don't know. Sometimes actions are more powerful. So it's language is important, but it's not always the top way of sincereness. I don't know what I'm saying.
You got away with words, guy.
This is one of them.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
The words of affirmation?
You like it when someone gives you a compliment, or?
Well, I was thinking, I think I'm pretty good at spreading the love that way. Sharing the love, thanking someone for cooking me their meal. I'm actually kind of wondering if this is all love, showing some love at the dinner table. Say you're out in public and you're talking to strangers, but you're like, hey, this is great, this tastes great, and you're showing them some love and you're affirming them, but you're not in a relationship with them. So I'm actually kind of wondering, does this spread out beyond a relationship?
Yeah, I think so. I think so because it's like it's not just like so there's a lot of different versions. I think there's one for like kids and
oh, cool. Okay.
So the one I read was a marriage one, but like it's still kind of one and the same where like the love you give or what you do to show love or what you feel when.
All right. So
that's what I was asking. Like when someone gives you a compliment, is I like what they say the bee's knees or the top of the. For you?
For me, it's easier to do it than receive it. So, like, if I get a really good compliment, I'm like, especially if I don't believe it. Like, and I don't even mean, like, from the person, like, somebody says, hey, you're really good at this, and I'm like, cool, thanks. But I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, you know, as artists, we judge ourselves the worst. You know, or our work's never done, so it's like when somebody would compliment me on my guitar playing, I'm like, yeah, but so-and-so plays better, like, I don't practice enough, you know, or like, I don't practice enough, so like, I'm not worthy of this compliment, like, so maybe my intake is all clogged up, you know, like, it's just like, and just saying that out loud makes me feel sorry for myself. Like you poor bastard, you can't even take a compliment. Like I don't take compliments well.
Nah, I hear you on that. Sometimes it's awkward.
Yeah. Like, gee, thanks.
Well, what do I do with that? Like, like hang it up on the wall.
No, you take it, you put it under your pillow, and you dream happy thoughts. You know.
But so like. Well, I guess it depends on where the compliment is coming from.
Yeah.
So I think that's where we're like, it's just not the compliment I'm getting. Yeah. Well,
exactly. Like that's why I started. Like, because when you first started talking about the book, and you had already told me the 5 languages, I was like, I started immediately going, where did I go wrong? Where did I do good in my past relationships? Like, you know, I started immediately giving myself a quiz. I didn't even know there was a quiz, and it was like, I got something to say on all of these, I think, and I feel certain ones of them I'm better at than others. But and I'm gonna bring other books into this, but so words of affirmation. I do. All right, so I already said I don't receive them well, but I make an effort to give it well. And I think it's because I recognize the need for it. I recognize that we all need encouragement, that we all, you know, don't get the compliment enough. We don't get thanked for what we do. Like when somebody's fucking awesome. I was in a relationship with somebody who was awesome. It was like, hey, you're great. Like, thank you. Like a great cook or like, you know, lover, whatever. It was just like, damn, you're awesome. It was great. And I always wanted to say it because, you know, you can easily go on too long without expressing it or without hearing it. And, you know, if you don't hear it, then you can get used to that and just think, this person obviously doesn't care about me. So it's like, I recognize the importance of saying it and hearing it. So when I'm in relationships or even when I'm just dealing with people in general, I'm not saying dealing, but I mean like strangers. You come into contact with people and there's like a code amongst people, you know, what lines you cross and don't cross. So along with that, there's this compliment, receive a compliment, give a compliment kind of thing. And this is kind of silly, but I think kind of the whole God bless you or gesundheit, you know, that kind of stuff, that kind of falls into this too. But like, you know, you're eating at someone else's house and they make a good meal, you say thank you. You know, or you say your lady's cooking you a meal and you haven't had a hand in it, you go, thank you for cooking a meal. Or somebody takes you out to lunch, you're like, hey, thanks for buying lunch. Like, hey, that was nice, thank you. And I feel like as time has moved on, we say these things less and less, and like it's kind of being singled out and erased in our culture and society. So I like to consider myself old-fashioned and try to keep that alive. Like, so I thank people and I compliment them and say, hey, that's great. Like, and then in the relationship, I think it's even more important because you got this person that you want to be happy with you. Not just happy with what you do, but happy in your presence. So when I was thinking about this, my first approach or thinking was relationship-wise. But the more I'm examining this, I'm starting to go, well, hell, you give love in damn near every circle in your life, out in public, in a restaurant, crossing each other's paths, at the bus stop, on a bus, in class. And you can give a little love, hold the door open for people. See somebody struggling, you roll up and you help them carry something if they'll let you and don't think you're a complete creep, like just, there are many situations we're going to come into where, I don't want to say it's chivalry, but I want to say it's like the unwritten code of interaction between people. And people, I think a lot more nowadays, people have forgotten that. Or it's getting erased little by little, or we're forgetting it. It's no longer being taught as, day-to-day curriculum from parents or teachers. It's kind of melting away. It's like it's losing part of our culture. So, on that note, big, long, blown-out answer. You want to... Did you say how you felt about it? Did you go into that much on words of affirmation?
I mean, I know the words are important, and I know people respond well when you tell them nice things. So, I mean, it makes sense. I just know that it's just one way to show love, or there's other ways, and it's,
yeah.
I mean, that's good. That's good. I mean,
let me ask you this. On this subject, words of affirmation. Do you need affirmation? Like in your day-to-day life, do you need to be told thank you? Do you need that, like, pat on the back? Because I'm also kind of thinking, like, if you need it, there might be something wrong. We were talking psychology earlier, so for me, it's like, all right, if you need to be affirmed, there might be something to that.
No, I think it's like not filling the room, but wherever you're at, and maybe it is related to what you're talking about as far as, like, I don't want to say courteous, but it's like
common courtesy.
It's not polite. It's just maybe that's what it is. But it's just there are certain ways that you can interact with someone by helping them, and it being a good feeling.
Yeah.
And even with the pandemic, like, I don't know, those big. I think we talked about this too, where I tried to help somebody and they didn't want my help because I was a stranger. And then another time, like, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. But I mean, like, I like to tell people I appreciate them because, and one of the things too about what I learned, I guess, about the book is the one way of kind of knowing what your love language is or what you feel it is like kind of like how you show it. Like,
yeah.
And they're kind of saying like if you like to go around and tell people this, and then you kind of want to be told the same thing with like with the gifts. Like you like to give gifts, but you also give them a lot because you want them. I don't know. This is kind of like I don't really need. Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe now where it's like we're in the text.
What?
I don't know. Is a text qualify as words of affirmation?
Ooh.
Or as
Okay.
words, or I mean, saying like voice, like someone's voice saying it, you know. That's
So I'm willing to go way off the rails here and talk about text versus calls versus in person.
Go on.
All right. So for me, like you were saying tools earlier, for me texting nowadays, like maybe not so much before because like I get a different feeling from older people, but like for me right now, I appreciate texting because when you call, it kind of takes over everything you're doing. So like if you're watching TV, you gotta stop the TV or turn it down or something. If you're driving a car, it's like, hey, I'm driving, can't really call because it takes that much of your attention. All right. So I text more because I'm multitasking. I'm doing shit. You know, even if it's boring shit, I'm like doing that, and I'm willing to text. You know, if somebody wants my attention and they're texting, cool, I'll keep texting. But if they call and I'm really into a show or something, I probably won't answer. I'm like, there's that kind of like, all right, am I gonna completely stop what I'm doing to talk to this person right now? And as far as love goes, that's not very lovely. It's like, you know, this movie that I can pause. I'm not willing to pause to hear your call, but it's like, so it's kind of like, you're calling, now I got to stop what I'm doing. Where if you just got to say a few things, you can text me and I can continue doing what I'm doing while I'm doing what I'm doing. You know, it's like I don't have to stop. So for me, texting is a tool that makes all that possible. But then, so if I receive a hey, thanks, or I appreciate you, it's like cool. But then you go to either talking to my parents, who don't really text, they do now, but not really, or to somebody I care about. You do stop and take that time, which maybe taking that time is going to come up later in the next languages here, but a call is a little more personal. It's like, yeah, I'll take the time to hear your voice and stop what I'm doing and let's talk. You know? Yeah. Maybe it's, you know, if we were to put them in degrees of feeling and caring, I'd put text at the bottom, call in the middle, in person at the top. Yeah. In this whole spectrum of showing love. If I'm willing to stop what I'm doing and answer the call, and we're gonna have this big conversation. Yeah. I'm showing you some love. And maybe that's the next subject that's coming up on this list you gave me already, but there's also people who call me in the middle of the night drunk as fuck, and they always repeat themselves, and it gets hard where they're not really even listening to me. They're talking at me or over me, and I don't want to answer that call. You know, so I was like, this motherfucker. I was like, do I want to answer this? And sometimes I'm just bored and like, fuck yeah, let's see what this drunkie's doing or whatever. Like, let's do this shit. So I went way off the rails here, but that's what I'm getting at is like,
yeah,
I can take affirmation in all three forms, and they're kind of the same. I think the one real decider would be if somebody's in person and they can reach out and put a hand on your shoulder, you know, touch your hand, or you can see their face and the sincerity in their face. Because I think one big problem that comes with texting is there's no context. You don't hear the voice. You don't hear the voice. You don't see the eyes, the expression. So when you hear a text, you just kind of hear someone's voice. And however you interact with them, you kind of put that voice and interaction on the text automatically from your mind.
Yeah? You put a voice on the text when you read them?
Yeah, yeah. Like from you, it's like, oh, what's up, man? Whatever, like, oh, chill, lay back. And then, you know, I've gotten in total arguments with people I've been in a relationship with, or one in particular where I think I talk so angry all the time or tough that she would only hear me. Like, I would be joking and she would think I'm starting a fight. You know, like, why are you taking this tone with me? I'm like, there is no tone. It's text. And I'm joking, like, and she's like, no, you're trying to start a fight. I'm like, whoa, no, I'm not. So she must have enough interactions with me where she thinks I'm getting mad. So she's putting my tone on that, you know? And vice versa, you know, it goes both ways like that. So I had a voice in my head is what I'm saying, yeah.
No, but sometimes when like maybe you're upset about something and then someone texts you, sometimes this is just me. I'm upset, so I'm almost reading the message upset.
Yeah.
Like it's an upsetness. It almost influences the conversation, how I'm feeling.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, man, it couldn't even, sometimes it's not even related, but it's still.
Yeah.
I'm angry or I'm whatever, and now this conversation is coming at me, and I'm, you know, it's like the tone, or I don't know, maybe the wanting to start something, and you're just like, oh, what? It's like this now. But yours, I think where we've gotten the juice out of this one. But, you were saying like sincere, the hand on your shoulder, but the next one is
a phone
physical
call.
touch. Physical touch.
Yeah.
That's one way someone can feel. That's one way someone will feel love, and that's the way you show love too. Is like physical touch. Like.
All right. Are you bringing up another language here?
Yeah.
Is that what you're doing? Okay.
That's the next one. You mentioned it, and I was like, that's the next one, but you're still talking about the other one. But physical touch, yeah.
Okay.
That's
all
the
right.
next one.
You want to give an example, Sky? I mean,
it's just simple, like hug, hand on the shoulder, holding hands. I don't know. I mean, however you touch. I think this is like
if you're Trump,
comfortableness where someone's in your bubble. You know, we have these bubbles where not everybody can just come up and, you know, not talk to you, but like give you a hug or like there's a bubble.
Yeah.
And for someone to be able to be comfortable enough to enter that bubble and whatever it is, touch, spank, I don't know.
Slap on the ass, yeah.
Yeah, something. That the person's gonna, this person loves me. And this is how I show my love, Yeah, I mean, it's pretty, again, self-explanatory. Like, cuddling by the fire. Come sit by me. That was it. Like, actually, or I think that's also kind of the other one, like, the time, but sitting by somebody, or like close in proximity, physical touch, yeah.
Yeah. So, how do you do in that one? How, like if you were comparing that to words of affirmation, how do you use this category? Are you well versed in this category?
Well, this is like, I guess apparently how I feel loved the most is physical touch.
Okay. According to your quiz?
Yeah, according to the quiz.
Okay.
This was the top one.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think, I've been thinking about my grandma a lot, and I was her first grandson, and just, I think just, like the hugs, just,
yeah,
I got a lot of hugs, and that was my way of, oh man, and I think it was just, when you're the first grandson, I mean, with any kid, if you have that person, or that, again, I'm thinking of my grandma, because, there's all these pictures of us just always being with her when we were little, and I always remember her, but it's just, she was always, giving us hugs. Even my great-grandma.
Yeah.
So I was just, even when we would go see her, it was like, go give your grandma a hug. It was always this, I mean, it's still a thing, but when you were talking about how times have changed, like, not there was that point in the pandemic where people weren't seeing each other and they weren't physical touch, so this was a pretty heavy one. Now that I'm looking at it like that, but
I'm sure a lot of people were really adversely affected by that.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's, I guess, why I can say that's why it popped out that way, or why. I mean, I like to give people handshakes, and it's just a cool thing. Yeah, I don't know why, but it is the way it is.
So, about high school days, let's say midway through high school. Well, all right, I got a whole spiel here. I'll start with handshakes. I grew up thinking that strong eye contact and a good handshake says a lot about who you are, your character, especially when you're handshaking somebody who's like your boss, your teacher, coworker, and people who meet you for the first time. Maybe your your partner's parents.
Mm-hmm.
You know, something like that, like strong eye contact, firm handshake. I put a lot of weight behind that. I grew up thinking that.
Yeah.
And the one thing about eye contact is I later learned that in certain cultures it's offensive to look somebody in the eye. So I realized when I come across people where in their cultures, there's a lot of Asian groups that feel that way. I've always wanted to reach out to them because they're completely foreign to me, and I've always tried to like approach them, but they've always pulled away from me, and I wonder if it's because of that, the eye contact. Because I always saw it as a sign of respect and like, you know, acknowledgement that you see somebody.
Yeah.
So that's one part of it. And then what I was going to say was about high school, I decided from now on I'm going to be pretty hardcore on handshakes and hugs. I was like, I decided, like I sat down and decided I'm going to give more hugs now. And I decided, you know, it doesn't matter if they're a guy or a lady, I'm going to give hugs. And, you know, on the res, there's a lot of hard dudes out there and they don't like getting hugs, you know, or it throws them off. So that was always a problem, but like that kind of does go back to what you're saying. Some people didn't get hugs, you know, and maybe those people need the hugs more. But I would definitely say this: like once I had made that decision, I'm gonna be shaking hands more and giving more hugs. So I started like making it my business to hug people, shake hands more, do the eye contact. And I feel like in general my life became better. There was like a positivity to it. It made people around me feel good getting a hug, and it made me feel good giving the hug. And so I want to say my life was boosted by making this decision to hug more and shake more. And I think it was all physical contact.
Yeah.
That brought about that positivity, and also, and then so there's that my little spiel there, and then also in relationships, I think that's one of my stronger abilities. If I'm in a relationship with somebody and they're anywhere near me, I'm going to be touching them. You know, hand on the thigh, you know, holding the arm, hand on hand, like I seek it out.
Yeah.
So that was what I'm saying is maybe not in life in general. Like I was saying, there are many situations where these languages come into play. But
yeah.
That for in a relationship, I'd say that was more my forte. Now my quiz might say something different, but I'm saying in my mind that's mine right there. So yours, mine is probably a bunch of people's. Or it's because we're Aquariuses, brother. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think I always remember I was young too. Had to have been like 6th grade, but one of my friends in town, and I don't know if it was just the cultural thing, but like, yeah, we gave hugs, but it was like hugs to like who we knew, and a lot of times it was like only family.
Yeah.
But then, or maybe he felt like we were family. But I remember one time we bumped into his mom. Like our families were both at the store, and like I think, like when you were saying, like shaking someone's hand, I was taught to like. Even like a stranger or something, you shake their hand.
Yeah.
Or like someone they know, and they introduce themselves. You know, a lot of times you shake their hand. So I shook their hand, but I shook their hand. It was, hey, we saw each other, but then he went and gave my mom a hug, and I think it was another person. Like he gave them hugs, and I was just like, I got like kind of shocked. I was like. He's like, you don't really know them that, like, you don't really know them that well. Like, not in a weird way. It was just like, wow, I had never seen that.
Yeah.
And it was just, it was not an adult thing, but it was like, I think later on in middle school and probably high school where it was like, getting a hug from somebody suddenly was more significant than it was when you were younger.
Yeah.
It was like you're getting a hug from, someone maybe you're interested in at school or just, I don't know, just to kind of like, I don't know what that feeling was where it was just like, you're cool, and maybe it was just us pretending to be like mature, but it was just like, oh yeah, we're gonna give each other hugs and go on about our day. It was like, I don't know. It was, I guess that now that kind of maybe that's why the physical touch thing, or why I'm in that where I saw it that way. If someone else maybe didn't even give an F, like if someone hugged them or if they got a hug, but it was like. If a girl hugs you, it was like, oh damn, like, I got it like that.
Yeah. I was gonna say that too. I think that was part of when I made that decision. Was I was gonna hug every lady I met. I think that was part of it. It was part of a confidence boosting thing for me too. And I think I used to discern. All right, the guy's gonna get a handshake. And the ladies didn't get a hug. Like, I had made that decision. But I think it turned out being, I just like giving hugs, so I started giving everybody hugs.
Huh.
And especially at family gatherings. Some of the dudes, like the in-laws, like maybe they weren't related to me, but they became part of the family. I made a point to hug them, and after a while they started seeking out the hug, like, give me that hug, man. Like, here it comes, motherfucker. Like, here it comes.
Oh, man. Well, I'll never forget I can't remember what year it was, but we're in Magdalena, Morena, in Mexico.
Uh-huh.
And, I'm not saying it was all the Mexicans, but it was like, the ones in our area, like, that were meeting and greeting again. You see somebody, you shake their hand, you give them a hug. But these guys were kissing on the cheek.
Dudes?
No, I mean, like, it was like, no, it wasn't like dudes were kissing dudes, but it was like families would see each other, they would kiss each other on the cheek. And it was, like, I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
To just anybody, or, even that too, where it's like, I guess it's, I won't kiss nobody. Like, if I don't love them that much, or, I don't know. It just always freaked me out because I was like you gotta, like, again, if you were brought up doing that, then it would be easier to do. But I'm just like, I can't.
Can't do it.
I can't do it. I mean, I don't know. I'd probably be awkwardness, but. I don't know, maybe it's just the way I was observing it. It looked natural. Like, they were doing it naturally, or maybe it was awkward for them. Like, I don't want to kiss this person, but it's a custom. Or, and again, I'm just, maybe it was just this one particular day where that was what was happening, but I think that physical touch where, I don't know what I'm saying, but yeah. You want to go to the next one?
I got two more tidbits to share on the, like, I don't even know if they really apply, but I want to bring them up.
Yeah.
So, one of them, I'm pretty sure I brought it up before, but you can tell me if I have or not. It was part of my, I don't know if it was alcohol diversion class after a DUI, but it was like, I don't know, it was watching a bunch of videos about addiction. And one part came up, and it was really not quite about addiction, but it was this lady giving a speech named Brene Brown. So look her up. Her name's like Renee, but there's a B in front, so Brene Brown. And she was giving a speech on the difference between empathy and sympathy. And in my book, they've kind of been one and the same until I saw this speech. And what she was saying was a huge difference starts to play out when somebody's had like a death in the family. And like there's this whole group of people, probably you and me and everybody else included, where you go and you tell people, they're in a better place. You try to think of something to say. It's like, they're no longer hurting, they're in a better place. They're in heaven, or now they're with their relatives. So don't worry, it's okay. Like, it's okay that they're gone now. You try to say something like that. And she was saying that the difference between empathy and sympathy is just that. Sympathy has a slight connotation of feeling sorry for somebody. Where empathy, you feel how they feel, and you share that feeling. So she was saying the difference would be is instead of telling somebody, they're in a better place, or this too shall pass, any kind of stupid saying that everybody says. She said instead, if you saw somebody hurting and you walked up, and maybe you sat down next to them and you put a hand on their shoulder, or give them a hug, put a hand on their hand, give it a little squeeze. You didn't say anything, but you showed them empathy. And she was saying that it was much more stronger a sign of love than telling somebody, they're in a better place, or you'll be better off soon, or this will pass, don't worry about it. You just walk up and you do the physical touch with no words. And that stuck with me. Like, not all of those addiction classes, not all the diversion, but that was one thing that I kind of sat back and went, yeah. Because, I always feel like an idiot when you know you're going to see somebody who's hurting. And it's like, what do I say? What are you supposed to say? And I've, since then, and probably before that I might have sensed it, I've learned to give the hug. Or like a solemn handshake,
Yeah.
Made much more of a difference for somebody in pain. Probably me too. So I'm just putting that out there.
Yeah.
And then there was this other thing that I just watched the other day. Like, I was scrolling through Instagram, and so I came across. I think it's because I liked one video on like psychology. And now everything's psychology in my feed, and I found this other lady that I started following, and she was talking about cleanliness in a relationship, and she said it starts out as kids where, and her example was if you convince a child that you will always be there no matter what, then they will go, okay, good, and then they'll take off and go ride their bike away from you and they'll be fine. But if a kid feels insecure in their relationship with you, they will be there holding on to you as tight as they can. Like, you might disappear on them. You're not actually there for them. They don't believe you're going to be there. Like, if they let go of you, you're going to disappear. And she said that kind of manifests in it gets worse as you become older. And her example there was like if somebody's cleany, and say somebody grew up as the child that's cleany, and then somebody grew up as the child that was independent, and they get in a relationship together. The one who's cleany will be grabbing onto you, and you'll pull away going, ugh, you're all cleany. I don't like this. It feels weird. And then and she was saying, oh, well, the problem with that is somebody who is independent and that bothers you that somebody's cleany, she said, the way this works, this type of psychology, is you got to out-clean them in order for them to chill out. Versus, you got to make them comfortable in your relationship by out-cleaning them. You got to out-clean them and go, oh, come here, baby, like start pulling on them, like, oh, I love you. And the next thing you know, they're like, ugh, get away from me. And then you'll have that distance that you need as an independent person. And she was saying it has a negative role when you go, ugh, you're all cleany, and then you pull away, because then they're only going to hold on to you tighter. And she even used the word strangle you to death with their cleanliness. So so I don't know why I brought that up. I feel like it has a little bit to do with the subject of contact and needing it or not needing it.
So.
Yeah,
I think so.
So that was just a little tidbit that I picked up while scrolling, and some lady, I'll probably bring her up later when I figure out who she is again. But I've dealt with a cleaner, and it's like, I've done that, like, get off me, like, stop it, stop pulling my arm, like, you're too cleany, get off me, and of course, I wound up with the negative effect of this person being even more cleany because they think I'm trying to get away from them. So I didn't understand that need. I didn't understand the situation because I grew up independent. Like I was confident my mom had my back. I was like, all right, I'm loved. I'm okay. I can run up the street and be just fine, and I can come back, and she'll still be there, happy to love me and hug me.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think that's why I think there's when you're saying independent, I also think where sometimes we appreciate our alone time.
Yeah.
I mean, because
sometimes you need it.
Yeah, but I think, at least for me, not to say the idea of cleanliness is horrible, but I think in my situation, I'm doing things so cleanliness is not, that won't work. So there's like a...
Wait, say that again?
Like I guess like, I don't think it's a bad thing to be clingy. I mean, I can see how it could annoy somebody, and I can see how it can, maybe not be healthy, but I think there's some good in it. But I'm just saying the cleanliness of like, maybe for myself, like, being all clingy or even having someone cling on to me, it just seems like, when you say independent, I relate to that word, but then I'm like, it's independent, but it's like, I'm doing things.
Well,
I'm off in the desert.
well, think about the opposite. If a cleaner is with a cleaner, then suddenly it's like, we can be together and cling to each other, and we'll be 100% golden. Like we're good. Like they'll be happy in their house. They'll start a little family of cleaners, and they'll all just be cleaning on to each other, and it'll probably be perfect. I think her point was like you put two people of the opposite spectrum together, there's going to be static, and without understanding that person to be a cleaner and what to do with that, it could be disastrous. So like part of me needs it. You know, you want the attention. You know, especially when you haven't had it in a long time. It's like, God, I need somebody to cuddle me. You know, you want that, like, you know, the touch, the physical touch. You want it. We all need it, especially like you keep bringing up the pandemic. That's put a huge damper on all of us, and we've all been aching to be hugged and touched again, like just in general. Like, damn, I haven't seen my friends. I haven't gotten a friend hug in a long time. You know? And when you finally get it, it's like, like, yeah, give me that hug. Give me that good stuff. You know? So yeah, like I wasn't like shitting on cleaners. I'm just saying, like, yes, there can be the positivity. Like, in the absence of any contact, I would probably, I do appreciate some cleaning, a little bit of clean.
Yeah.
But again, I'm independent, so at some point I will reach my fill of clean and then go, all right, get off me. I'm good, thank you. Thank you, appreciate you. Words of affirmation, thank you, I appreciate that. Now get off me. You know, like, all right, now get off me.
Well, I guess it's clingy to who's ever on the receiving end.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, okay. I
think there's, like, limits to, like... Because I think I keep only focusing on the marriage relationship versus, like, just in general where, like, a friend or a family member, like, you don't be all up in their business all the time because you love them, you know that they have shit going on too, and, you know, it's not always, like, again, like, if I'm all up in someone's business and they're like, damn, like, you give me some space, or like, I need to be alone for a little bit. You know, if you have to tell somebody that, then, because I think, again, like, sometimes we do want attention.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
If someone wants to give it to us, it's like, oh,
yeah,
it's cool. But, yeah, so I'm thinking, I keep focusing on this. Because again, the book was on, like, it talked a lot about marriages and how, like, what I keep bringing up is the fact that, like, in a romantic relationship, you fall in love with somebody, and then there's like what they call it, honeymoon, where it's all good and it's all lovey-dovey, and then you come down or you fall off. And what he says in the book is just sometimes people fall off sooner than others, so it's never all on the same day, but like learning someone's love language, you know, helps because you're able to know what works for them or what they feel.
Yeah.
So, and again, like, everyone has their preference, so it's like what you like doesn't mean they like either. So it's again, I'm thinking of it in that way when we're talking, but like I keep like also like love is just, you know, how you treat everybody, kind of, right?
Yeah.
It should be, or maybe I don't know. I take that back, maybe. How you treat your friends or your family, you know, like.
Yeah.
yeah, I guess you should love them, right? Or I guess people you care about.
Okay, yeah, I like that better. People you care about, yes.
Because there's like, you have other people in your life that are not like directly like immediate family too. Sometimes, and it's just you show love to, I don't know, even strangers, like you don't know them, but you're like being kind to them probably because you want someone to be kind to you. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I fucked up the other day at Pima County Fairgrounds. I went into this like exhibition building, and they had like a little. I don't know. Well, she was small, but I don't think she was young. I was about to say this little girl there, but she wasn't a little girl. She was probably in her 20s, maybe early 30s. Maybe not even that. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But like I walked in and she's sitting at a table and she had shit spread out on the table and she started to talk to me, and like automatically I was like, oh fuck, what are you trying to sell me? Like I'm not gonna sign shit. Like no, I'm not interested. It's okay. And then I realized she was just trying to give us like pointers of what we're gonna find in the building. I immediately felt like a jackass, but it was like fuck, I'm so used to somebody trying to sell me something. When they approach me and give me that kind of attention, and I'm just like I'm shell shocked. I'm like no, I don't want it. No, I'm good. No, thanks. No, don't even start. No. And really, it was somebody trying to talk to me, connect to me, give me something, and only after I walked away, I was like, wow, I'm a fucking asshole. Like, damn it, like. I've trained myself to be this way because, like, you know, you ever been cornered by somebody in a parking lot and they just won't take no, I don't have any money for you for an answer, and like next thing you know, they're like right in your face and they're like, you know, can you give me anything? And they start in their spiel and they're telling you like, you know, my mom's in the hospital, but she's in Phoenix, so like, but my car's broke down. I need some gas, like, and my dog died yesterday, and I just need to get to Tucson or Phoenix, and you know, and my pastor just passed away. Like just anything they can, you know, sooner or later they're gonna say the right thing that resonates, and then you're gonna give them money. You know, like not they're not all like that, but like. I've been cornered so many times, like, I just, like, no, like, don't even come over here, like, I'm good, thank you. That's not even words of affirmation, but it's like, hey, okay, no. No, I'm not interested. I think what it was is this guy was trying to get me to sign something, and I was just like, no, and I just kept walking. I was like, no. He's like, hey, I think he was trying to get me to sign a petition. He's just like, hey, are you a registered voter? I was like, yes, but I'm not interested. I'm here with the kids, you know, I'm here with my family. Leave me alone. Like, I was like, no. Like, no. Shut him down really quick. He just kind of looked defeated. I was like, I'm a prick. But really, I didn't want to go into it.
Yeah, right. Well,
I'm shell shocked.
No, but I think with that, like, if some of those times when people are approaching the parking lot, it's like, it's not to say they're not being honest or they're just, I don't know, just sometimes it doesn't feel as sincere.
Yeah.
Just kind of, so it's like, I don't want to talk to you. I don't even have money on me, but a lot of times it's just, I want money.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, and then someone actually doesn't want money and they want to share information with you, and
yeah,
Yeah, so.
Shit.
Man, yeah.
I'm shell shocked, dude. I got PTSD. Right out of high school, in my first apartment, this couple, they were crackheads, but they were well off enough. Like, one of them was well off enough. His partner was like crazy, like gone, but he loved her, and they used to ask me to give them a ride to like Walmart, and all they do is just hustle all day, like for a couple hours, and they would just come out with hundreds of dollars. Because they do that. They just tell stories, whatever they could say to get some money.
Yeah.
And like, afterwards, like, they would pay me with booze. Like, I'm going to give you a gallon of vodka because you brought me here and sat here for a couple hours and waited for me. And I'm like, fuck, man. And I didn't do that often because that was a shitty kind of thing. And I found out later he was stealing the gallons. So he wasn't even buying with the money he was getting. He was stealing the gallons. And he was working people. Like, he'd be there for an hour and just work people.
Yeah.
And that was like how he paid his rent. You know? And if they made enough money, they'd get themselves some rock, and then, like, I'd hear them, like, fighting or whatever in the apartment kind of adjacent to me, but above me.
Mm-hmm.
I was fucking sleeping one time, I just heard this loud crash, and then all this glass started falling outside my bedroom window. And it was because he had cut her off. He's like, no more. And she started throwing a fit and, like, tearing up the apartment. Anyway, that's a whole that's a whole other side story out there. Okay, so anyway, what I'm saying is, like, I'm used to that, and I'm over it. I'm just over it, and I'm even willing to accept the fact that makes me a bit of an asshole, that I'm not willing to let people approach me, but I've just, my guard's up, and I don't think it'll ever go back down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So next on the list there, Sky. At this rate, we might not even cover all 5.
Receiving gifts.
Okay. Is it solid receiving, or is it also giving? Because you were also saying giving.
I think it's when you're receiving gifts, you feel, this person who got me the gift loves me.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is, but, like, the way we show that love is we give gifts to somebody that we care about. I mean, I think this one was, and I thought this one would be the top one for me, because, like, I don't know, I was, like, evaluating myself, like, I think I like to get gifts, so, it's cool to give a gift. I mean, but I mean, I don't know. I thought this was gonna be the top one for me. But that was actually the last on my last. So, and they broke it down in percentages, but I mean, I don't know if that's just the possession thing, like. Or we want something and then someone gets it for us. Yeah. Oh, hey, cool, you love me, man. Or, I don't know. Like, I know a lot of times, like, you know, you fuck up or you do something wrong. We buy something for them, for somebody, like, oh, this is... I'm sorry, you know, like, I guess it's nice to get a gift.
Yeah.
And if someone puts thought into it and, you know, they did some whatever. Makes me think of Garden State, the movie where on a hunt looking for this charm. And
I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah, but it's just like, I don't know, some people really will go out of their way to make something meaningful or remember a moment and somehow make it into something else. And again, the tangible, like now you have this. Then the flower, even I think of that with the flower. I don't know if I would say a gift is flowers. I mean, but like it's just you deserve this, and I'm giving it to you. Or
did you when you graduated? Did you get any flowers? Did anybody get you flowers?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I want to say yeah, but I don't remember.
I want to say I'm a terrible gift giver. I'm just like, I usually wait way too long. Like I procrastinate. And then by then it's like, oh, I gotta find something, and there's this mad dash. You know, like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
And then it winds up being shitty, and I know it's shitty, but it's like, fuck, I'm out of money now. Like, that's what I got you. You know, I'm terrible at giving them, and I'm really terrible at getting them.
What do you mean by that?
Well, especially in or getting it from a relationship, like a girlfriend, a lady, whatever you want to call them. Like, I'm just like, oh, like.
I'm not worthy.
Yeah. Well, like when ladies give you a gift, they're like, oh, they're excited, and they're like, oh, like I feel like ladies are more of the happy about giving and getting gifts. As a guy, I'm just like, oh, you shut it up, really, like really, please don't give me the gifts. It's like shopping for my dad. I don't know what the fuck to give him. How do you make this man happy? Like, you rarely see him smile. Like, how do you give him a good gift? It's always a struggle around Christmas time to get my dad something. Like, usually I feel like just getting him a bottle. You know, like, here's some wild turkey, and don't show mom or my sister. You know, don't show the others. But like, that's what he'll like. You know, what else am I supposed to get him? Some socks. He doesn't want fucking socks, but like...
What would you want as a gift?
Alright, so I was going to bring that up to my baby's mom. You know her. She's a great gift giver. She got to the point where she figured me out, and like almost every time... Well, yeah, every time. She fucking nailed it. She, like, I once got a reverse como. It was like more shaped like a bowl, but it was like a over the fire camping style cooking wok kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
And I was really into like survival and camping gear at the time. And I was just like, you fucking get it. At first when I got it, I was terrified. Like, oh god, a gift. Like, fuck, I hope I react right or something. Like, for me, there's pressure. There's whether it's me giving a gift or getting a gift, there's all this pressure, and I'm like, oh, I got it. I panic. It's like, I can't do this. Like, shoot me in the head now before you open it, so I don't have to worry that it's the wrong gift or it's not good enough, or that I don't react good enough for equal to what you expected. And that's not even the point of a gift, but I'm like, oh, so like when she gave me that, it was like, I was like, when I was opening it, I was like, oh, I fucking hope this is something I react well for. And I opened it, and at first I was like, what am I going to do with this? But like after she left and I started looking at it and I sat it up, I was like, this is the fucking shit. This woman knows me. Or like, I think it was like Father's Day or something, and she got me like a hat box, and it was full of like candies, jerky, and liquor. And that's all I needed. I was like, fuck yeah, this is one of the greatest fucking gifts I've ever gotten. Like, there is something to it. Like, my sister's a good gift giver. Like, almost every Christmas she'll make my mom cry, you know, like with her gifts, and I'm like, fuck, what did I get you? Like some lotion or something? Like,
oh man,
yeah. So for me, I think we're all following this love language. Like, I feel like I nailed it a few times. And it was usually like, all right, I put a lot of thought into it, and I got it early, or I've even got them like last minute, but I knew what I was gonna get. That happened a lot when I was working at Lowe's and Home Depot. I was like, oh man, I'd see shit and be like, oh, I'm getting that come birthday time. You know, like, oh, you're getting that. You know, so I've nailed it before, but like for me, this is not my language right here. The receiving and giving. You know, I look forward to Christmas and my birthday. Like, oh, I'm hoping I get something good, but like, there's so much pressure either way. Like, it's more of a nerve-wracking thing for me.
Yeah,
I can't do it.
I get it now. I get what you're saying.
And I'm a terrible gift giver. I think that's probably the worst part. Is like, I don't know if it's because I'm always poor around the time I need money to do that. So there's like less options, maybe. Or something like I'm not a good gift giver, and I'm always terrified I'm not going to react correctly for receiving a gift. So like I think I try to speak my love languages in other categories. I try to steer clear of the gifts. And what's sad about that is anybody who's going to be in a relationship with me is going to be a lady. And ladies love gifts. So there you go. I feel sorry for them.
No, I think not everybody needs gifts.
I find from experience, ladies are more inclined to giving and receiving gifts. And that's just me. It's not like a man thing, lady thing. It's like it's through experience.
Sounds like a man thing, lady thing.
yeah, totally. It is. It isn't. Whatever. Like I'm like I try to steer clear there. Like there's so much pressure. I can't stand it. I'm like I don't want to give gifts. I can't give gifts. Got a lot of bad experiences. I'm shell-shocked in this department as well. It's like,
but what about like, because you don't have to buy a gift, you can make a gift, and you've done things where you made stuff for people. Like,
yeah,
wasn't that reaction like good?
Well. That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, I feel like I've nailed it a few times, but in general, more often than not, I've like what I'm saying. If I'm going to build something, like one of my gifts was a greenhouse. Another was a bench. You know, like big, crafty things. That takes money, and sometimes I don't even have the money. So it's like, fuck. What do I do now? So like, I don't plan ahead like that. I don't save a bunch of money for Christmas. I just hope I have money during Christmas. It's like, oh, I hope I have money.
Yeah, I think that's me too. Like, well, I mean, I don't know. It's I get what you're saying, because it's like, you would think, and maybe it's just how, again, the possessions, oh, we want this, or we gotta have this, or this is the best, so they gotta have the best. It's just, somehow categorizing and gets confusing. And then it's like, it doesn't really matter at the end of it, because it's a gift. It's not like it's I don't know. I mean, my thing at Christmas, when it's like when it's Christmas time, and yeah, I would like to get the gifts, but then I'm like almost running out of time. Yeah. That's how it's been, and it's just like, oh damn, I didn't get nobody nothing. But it's not like I don't love them.
Yeah. See, a lot of people equate the gifts with love, and I think that's the hardest thing for me. There, it's like, fuck, like, how do you show somebody you love them for $28.99? You know, or like, you know what I mean? Like, fuck, I have so many people that I have to give gifts for. Who do I give more money to? Like, say I spend all my money, and then the next day I find the gift, like, oh damn, that would have been perfect. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
it bothers me.
Now that you're saying it, yeah, you're right, because we'll put it off because thinking of a gift is sometimes tough too. So you don't even know what you're gonna get, and then it's time to get the gift, and you don't even know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's maybe like how they're gonna respond to the gift.
Yeah.
They don't like it, and yeah, no, that's some good points.
Yeah. Well, I think again the lady guy kind of thing. Like, I think maybe I'm getting all the pressure from women, or maybe from myself about gifting to a woman, whether it be my sister, my mom, my lady. It's like, all right. Like one Christmas, I gave my cousin, a guy, I gave him a fucking foldable limb saw, like a hand saw that folds. And he's like, fuck yeah, the saw I just had broke, and I needed a new one. And I was like, yeah, well, this one's got sharp-ass teeth, and it folds, and it's this small. Badass gift. He's like, yeah, cool, thanks, this is cool. I was like, hell yeah, nailed it. Gave my dad, I think it was like a pint or a fifth of some wild turkey, and that's kind of a treat for him. You know, he's not supposed to be drinking, but I think I still feel like at his age, an occasional drink doesn't fucking matter. Like, you're old, sooner or later, if you're gonna die, you might as well live it up. Have some every now and then. So I give him that, and he's happy. He's like, yeah. But then I go to the ladies, and it's like, they're usually gonna equate this with love. And if I didn't put love and thought into this gift, then I've ruined my relationship, and I'm gonna have to move to Mexico. You know, like it's bad. It's like, fuck. Or you get that answer, they open it, and they're like, socks. You know, it's like crazy socks. Like, no, baby, they're not just socks. They're crazy socks. Love you. They're like, thanks.
You should have.
Oh, you should have. Really. Shouldn't have. And then you're like, oh, that's it. I'm moving to Canada. It's yeah, so what I'm saying is, like, if I had given a foldable handsaw to my lady, there would have been fucking fireworks or, you know, pots thrown or something like, or no sex that night, like something awful. There's going to be repercussions for that. But then I give it to my cousin, the male, the guy, he's like, fuck yeah. And I'm like, fuck yeah, you too, man. Thanks. You're cool, appreciate you. And he's like, awesome, this is good. You know?
Yeah.
Can't fail with a knife or a decent flashlight, you know? Give a guy a decent flashlight or a knife. Give me a decent flashlight or a knife. And I'm like, fuck yeah. Camping tools, survival tools, some weird, wacky gadget. And I'm like, golden. I didn't need no love in it. I'm just like, yeah, this is awesome. Thank you. You know, but give any of those things to a lady and you've blown it. Hey, a flashlight. look, baby, this handsaw has 3 positions. You can cut branches upside down. You know, like, you're dead. You're dead to me. From now on, you're sleeping on the couch. Like, oh, okay. Okay, moving on. Let's, there's 2 more points. I think we've only hit 3 of them.
Yeah. The next one is quality time.
Oh, I was going to say, I want to skip that to the last, but okay. Let's go.
Yeah?
What do you think quality time, or what's quality time to you?
That is when you're giving someone your undivided attention. You're sharing a moment. You're not away from somebody. You're pretty much like, this time is your time.
Yeah.
Or our time, I guess.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, this is kind of like the clingy one, because it's like I can appreciate the time together with anybody, with somebody. But then I also need my time when I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And it's not always, I want to say, involved with, like, again, it's like in a romantical relationship, you need to spend time with people, with somebody. It has to be that time, but like you also have your life where you're doing other things. So if that somebody like needs that time, you make that time for them.
Yeah.
Because that's what they enjoy, or you know that that gets. Another thing in the book they talk about is they call it your love tank.
Your love tank.
Yeah, and it's like, if someone's giving you what you want or what fulfills you, it's like, oh, your love tank is full. So, like that, like if someone's love tank is quality time, and you know, like you only go half day and you spend the rest of the time with whoever, you know, like you're saying like, oh, I'm taking this time out of my schedule and devoting it to you. Like someone might appreciate that like so much to where their love tank is full, because it's like, oh damn. I mean, that's a big gesture. If someone's like, yeah, I took time off because I want to spend time with you, it's like, oh shit. Yeah. I mean, I feel love just talking about it. I'm excited.
Just out of curiosity, how'd you score in the quality time department?
I think this was the middle one.
The middle one, okay.
But yeah, like remember I said like they're almost like a couple numbers like off.
Oh yeah.
So this was kind of like right in the middle.
Your average. I'm taken back to when we were reading the horoscope book.
Yeah.
In our horoscopes episode, and we were talking about Aquariuses and like we're sporadic. I always feel like I don't give enough time to my friends, and it's that like I'm like all over the place. And when I'm not over the place, I would love to just sit down and just do me. You know, like I'm all over the damn place, and that's one thing. I never feel like I give enough time to my friends.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I'm in a relationship, I think I've been guilty of not enough dates, which I think is more quality time. Like in my last relationship, I was there all the time. We lived in the same house together. We had, my son, she had kids, and I was raising them as mine. And, like, a lot of the time I was like, I go to work, and then I come home, and I'm here with you. Love you, baby. I'm here. I don't want to be anywhere else. I'm here with you and the kids. This is family quality time. But for her, it was like I'm always here with the kids. I'm always in mom mode, and she would have appreciated more dates where it was just me and her. And I didn't get that, so her love tank was not full. It was probably on the E or in the red, the lower eighth of the tank, barely, puffing on fumes. And I saw the opposite. So, like, I kind of get where this book is going about not only realizing what your language is, but also learning what your partner's is. So that you can be sure to keep each other's tanks full. You got to figure out how to keep your tank full, and then you got to figure out how to fill up your partner's tank. I think they're both key. Like one aspect that I realized was, like, if your own tank isn't full, it's a lot harder to want to go out and fill up somebody else's.
Oh yeah.
It's like, if you got a full love tank, you got love to spare. You're going out and smiling at people, and you're generous. And I don't want to just equate it with sex, but I'm going to say, you get lucky one night, and the next day you're bouncy and happy, and your love tank's full, and you're like, yeah, I fucking feel great. So then you go out into the world, and you're smiling at people and greeting people and waving, throwing out the guns, like, yeah, hey, how you doing? Yeah, you're happy. Your love tank's full. So what I'm saying is, like, when your tank is I'm gonna keep using that. When your love tank's full, sometimes you're brimming with love, and you have more to spare. I think a lot of us can do with just a half a tank. Maybe even a quarter of a tank. We get along. And then when you have a full tank, it's like, I'm brimming with love, like, share the love, giving dollars to the hobo guy in the corner, like you're spreading it around, And in a relationship, if it's just the two of you, and say you don't have a full tank, like you're not being taken care of, then you're not going to be willing to take care of your partner either. It's like, it's just not there. I barely have enough love for myself. Like damn.
Yeah.
And again, like I said, I had misread the whole thing to begin with. What I was doing, I thought it was enough, And I'm not saying you should do just enough, but I thought it was doing the trick, doing the job. I thought I was handling my business. Come to find out, I was on the wrong page, on the wrong subject. Or maybe, I used to think of it that she didn't equate the things that I thought were important. So it's like, hey, I'm building things, I'm doing these, I'm getting, putting in on the bills, I'm getting groceries, I'm doing all this. This is how I'm showing my love. This is how I was raised to show my love. But if that's not her love language, I'm using the book here.
Yeah.
You did right. I haven't even read the book, but I'm saying, like, if that winds up not being her language, then the whole time her tank could be on empty despite what you think you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's a lesson learned the hard way for me, was I didn't figure it out till after the fact that I wasn't showing the love in the right language. You know? And I think in the beginning I was selfish enough to go, well, if she doesn't get it, then she doesn't get it. She doesn't see that I'm doing all this for her, and I left it at that. It wasn't like, oh, I need to figure out what way she wants it, and then I'm going to speak that language. So I learned the hard way, and pretty much after the fact. After we already blew it, you know, we already threw it away. So I'll say that right now. This there is definitely something to this. I have another tidbit on this too, but I'm curious what you have to say now.
What I have to say?
Yeah.
Well, you know, when we were talking about this in text about the book, and you know, I kind of said that there was maybe some BS to it.
Yeah.
And I think where this guy he has it pretty good on explaining it, but I think that there's, I don't know, more to it about love, and I always make this argument about like even love songs, like these classic love songs that we know, like they're not love songs. They're an artist trying to tell you what he thinks love is.
Yeah.
But it's not what it is. It's something else. And
that's a good point.
But we're gonna hear those songs and be like, "Oh, this is a love song," but it's not really a love song. It's just someone trying their best to show you what they think is love. But it's sad to say it's not love. It's an attempt. Just like happy, the word happy, like we can all have our different definitions of it. So it's not like it's one thing. I think that's kind of like how love is. So, yeah, when you're talking about like, you know, learning the hard way, it's also like maybe the miscommunication where you think you're in a place where you're doing the right thing. And you are doing the right thing, but it's also not the right thing. But
that's love for you right there, dude. It's
well, I mean, we're going into that. Like Plato said, love is a mental disease.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Kind of like, you know, we'll do something that doesn't make sense because we love somebody. You know?
Yeah.
Or I don't know. We'll go out of our elements because, you know, love made us. You know.
Yeah.
So it's just sort of this unexplainable thing, but this layout of defining them in love languages kind of does help with, like, you know, maybe understanding a certain personality or understanding a certain type upbringing, you know, like how we're saying, somebody that appreciates when you spend time with them, or someone that, you know, responds well when you give them a hug, you know. So like, it's a good science to love, to understanding, but like love is just something that we're not gonna figure out, or even the involvement of it, like someone you love now, like will you still love them the same way? Like, you know, it's like that shit evolves. So it's like I can't be fully like connected to this book and be like, oh yeah, this is the magic book that breaks it down.
This man broke the code to every woman's heart.
It's a good testimony to navigating the world of you know, because again, like, you should be showing love to who's around you, regardless of like that, like you don't know them or you know them very well, but again, I don't know if that's just what I'm saying and it's not true, but you know, being kind, I guess. Showing that you care.
I'll say it again, like, maybe not even the love tank, but your spirit. If you're living a life where your spirit isn't being fulfilled, then it's going to be pretty hard to be. It's going to be pretty hard to be sincerely happy and nice to people if you're unfulfilled yourself. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I think that was really the point I was making. It's like, I'm sure I come off like an asshole a bunch of times, but I'm trying to. This is me trying to figure it out and put it into words how I feel. Like your own feelings and fulfillment often play into the. I don't want to say imagery, but the energy that you put out into the world.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not fully charged, you're gonna have nothing to show for to anybody else. And I think that's kind of why depression sets in on so many people. Sets in on me, you know, people in general. Like maybe when you hit that E, when you're on fucking E. Maybe that's depression. It's almost like depression's like a decay. Like your love meter is rotting at the bottom. It's completely dried out. It's turned to dust. You know? And next thing you know, you're in this dark place because you're not even fulfilled yourself. You know, you're not being fulfilled. Your needs are not being met. Your love tank is empty. Then you're going to have no love to give in return. And you know, I kind of think if there's something to that about mental health is if you're taking care, like a lot of us need somebody else, and maybe we need them, but we don't have them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're not in a relationship, we don't got somebody. Then it's up to you to work on figuring out a way to fill that void, that your love tank. And you know, we're using the word love, but I'm kind of leaning towards that it's not exactly the literal sense of love. Like, I think love in this instance is we're talking more about your essence, your spirituality, or your energy, your mental health. It's like your love, your ability to share that good energy is dependent on how much you have a capacity for it. And like I said, I think often when people find themselves in a depression, their needs are not being met. They're not taking care of themselves, and like, you know, maybe people wait to take care of themselves because they think somebody else should be taking care of it. Like, oh, if I had a partner, these areas of my need would be fulfilled. You know, like, so you wait to love, you wait to have that energy, and you wind up decaying because you don't have it. This other person, you know, because you think to yourself, oh, well, as soon as I get somebody, then I'll be just fine. And you wind up not taking care of yourself, and you wind up in a depression because it's like, damn, you're on E. And there's a hole this gaping hole in your soul that's like you're not being taken care of. I got like one last tidbit. We're about 10 minutes away from a 2 hour. I don't mind if we go over. I'll do this, and then we can either decide to just put a few words on the next subject. But there's this guy named Jordan Peterson. He became real famous for this like They were having this like real big blow up speech at a college about transgenderism, all that. I think they were talking about pronouns, and this professor Jordan Peterson / he's also a therapist, I think, like a clinical therapist, psychologist. So he has a lot of people come to him, and then they try experimental psychology, and he's trying to help them find their way. But anyway, there was these people that were trying to force him to use their pronouns, and he just pulled the First Amendment speech, like, hey, you can't force me to say what I don't agree with. So he grew that he came to fame, and then through that he had people come and work with him, and they started putting like his lectures. They started recording his lectures, or maybe he's done it all along. Doesn't matter. I listened to one of these. I got really heavy into listening to podcasts before I started doing this. We started doing this, and I was listening to one of this guy's classes, and he brought up this children's book. I can't even remember what it was, but I think it was like The Kid and His Dragon or something like that. The Dragon in the House. Something like that. And so the story goes, there's this kid, he's in his house, his family's getting ready, and all of a sudden there's a dragon. A little tiny, let's say, I think it started as a dragon egg. And the boy's like, Mom, there's a dragon egg in the house. And she's like, yeah, whatever, sweetheart, good, that's nice. And then she's folding the laundry, and she goes about her business, says, okay, yeah. Then the egg cracks, and now there's a young dragon walking around the house, and the kid's like, Mom, there's a dragon in the house. Like, look at him crawl, look at him fly. And the mom's like busy on the phone, like, yeah, sweetheart, that's nice, wonderful, whatever. And he's like, Dad, there's a dragon. And he's like, son, I gotta go to work. Or, I'm tired, I'm going to go lay down. It's like, okay. Then the dragon, he starts to feed the dragon, and the dragon starts getting bigger. It's a little bit bigger, like the size of a dog. And it's like, Mom, look at my dragon. He can do tricks. He's doing this. And the parents are like, yeah, that's great, sweetheart. I'm watching TV. Like, don't go play with your dragon in the other room. Like, oh, have fun. And then the dragon's the size of a cow, and it's like, Mom, look at the dragon's eating my bed. The dragon's eating all my clothes. And they're like, oh, that's nice, sweetheart, but we gotta make dinner right now. We don't have time for your stories. And then it just keeps going like that. This dragon's getting bigger and bigger, and then one day the parents come home, and the dragon's become so big, he picks up the house. It's like a shell on his body, and he walks away. So when his parents come home, the house is gone. It's miles down the road. It's on another block, and they're like, what the hell's going on? Where'd our house go? And the kid's like, the dragon took it. He took off with it down the road, and like, whoa, what the hell? And So Jordan Peterson took this children's story and he compared it to people in their relationships. And what he was saying was, these parents, they were ignoring the dragon in the room. It was an issue that had arisen in the relationship, and they were ignoring it. And they ignored it until it got bigger and bigger. All they would have had to do was acknowledge the kid and his dragon, and that would have been the end of the story. But instead, they kept ignoring the issue, the dragon, and it got bigger and bigger and bigger until it was so big and huge, it fucking relocated their house. And at first, I was like, wow, this very simple story relates to a lot of relationships or problems in our life. Like, say somebody's drinking and driving and they do it so much, it's not a big issue at first. But then they grow comfortable, and next thing they know, the relocation is the houses. They get a DUI or they crash or something, or maybe you're not filling up your lover's love tank and then next thing you know, you think everything's fine, but you've put it off long enough and you didn't address the issue until now you're broken up. It blew up in your face, and now it's too late. And it was like, I had heard this story after I had left that relationship, and it was like, damn, like, I sat around and I was thinking about it, and I was like, damn, like, I was ignoring her dragon. You know, whatever this issue was, I had ignored it or put it off or didn't acknowledge it until, boom, it blew up in my face, and now I'm alone. You know?
Yeah.
Now, I think this is pertinent because it kind of goes with what you're saying, the love tank, figuring out somebody's language and showing them love through their own language so that they understand, and then also being sure that the person you're with knows your love language so that you're both being fulfilled, you're both being satisfied, and then you can love each other's. You can love your kids, you can love life, you can love your parents and the world around you. But I think it really comes down to filling up your own, making sure your needs and the needs of your partner are being fulfilled. And if you don't have that partner, it's harder to fulfill your own need, but if you don't ignore it like the dragon. You know? You want to take care of your needs as well, with or without a partner. You still have those needs, and they still need to be met. And you need to be aware of it and not ignore it. Otherwise, you might lose your house. Or whatever it is you hold of value. And you might lose it entirely if you don't address the issue. So there you go. That's my little tidbit.
Damn.
Jordan Peterson was the guy. He's like a college professor / clinical psychiatrist.
Well, it's not the pink elephant in the room. It's the dragon. Evolving dragon.
Well, he really was referring to a dragon story, but I bet that's the same story.
Yeah. Or the same concept where we're both ignoring what's obvious.
Yeah.
Or the tension.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say maybe the tension, but just the ease.
Yeah, you're willing to take the easy route and not take on the issue. Or you're doing little fixes. You're not addressing the actual problem, but you're doing little fixes. It's like you got a leaky pipe and you're just putting bits of tape on it and not replacing the pipe. And so sooner or later it's going to burst. And it's not going to hold water anymore. It's going to be a kitchen full of water. And you'll pay for it.
Damn.
Pretty interesting stuff. I'm glad we talked about this. Like, it would have been about Elon Musk, and I think at this point I wouldn't have had anything to say.
Well, there's still one more.
Well,
acts of service, which is
acts of service.
This is why when I asked you about chores, because it's like a lot of them are like chores. Feels like where you do something for somebody and or they need your help doing something and you do it for them. Like, I don't know, maybe a lot of stuff like chores at home. I don't know, like even for. I remember when we were younger, and my mom would always leave us a list of chores to do. And me and my brother would trade certain chores because it was like, I can't remember what it was, whether it was washing dishes or, but it was like, if you do this, I'll switch you for that.
Yeah.
And it was I kind of related to this one where, I'll dump the trash for you. Like, I got your back. Or, you need me to, even with laundry, or you can't throw your clothes in the dryer, but you gotta go and you ask somebody, hey, can they throw in the dryer? Like, appreciate it. Like, someone does that. That's I consider that it's act of service. It was an act of service. Yeah, something like that. I should be doing this, but you're doing it for me. Mm. So, I mean,
yeah.
I think that's a common thing.
Yeah.
Like, you want to do stuff for people you want to show that you care for them. I think that's what you were talking about earlier, like being willing to help somebody.
Yeah.
You want to do something for them.
Yeah, it's not necessarily chores. It's doing something. And I guess the whole service part is you're doing it for someone else.
Yeah. Because, I don't know, I was thinking in a lot of they'll say like a back rub, but then back rub sort of like physical touch.
Yeah. Well, unless she's in pain.
Oh yeah,
she or he. Sorry.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah. Whoever
you're rubbing down.
Yeah. Oh, you need a back rub.
No judgment. Yeah.
When we get to that back rub, you've been working hard today, you know?
Yeah.
Or damn, I'm maybe washing someone's car. That's an act of service. That's pretty cool. You know what I think is an act of service? But, if you do someone's taxes.
Okay.
I think that's
like true service, the closer to the definition of service.
Yeah.
Have you ever done that and got a big response?
Nah, I never did, but I'm if someone did my taxes to show that they love me, that would be pretty. I don't know.
you'd walk in the room and they're like, hey, maybe I just did your taxes. You'd be like, oh, girl. You start undressing. Like, damn. Yeah. I got this one, like, solid memory where I wasn't working, but my lady was. So, like, I was there all day, and a lot of times I would just fucking sleep. Like, I would sleep a lot. I'd kind of lay around. Every now and then she'd be like, oh, can you do this? Or can you do this while gone? I'm like, sure, why not? And then sometimes I'd do it, sometimes I wouldn't. But I remember this one time, like, I don't know if I was bored or if I was really just thinking about her, but I was like, I'm going to do this, and this. So, like, I think I did all the dishes, I put them away, I did the laundry, I folded it, and I was preparing dinner. And she got back from work, and, like, she had the kids all hanging off of her, and she came through the door. I could tell, like, it was a long fucking day. And she saw me folding the laundry, and she's just like, oh, like, oh, you sweet man. Like, she was too burned out to, like, do anything, like, you know, oh, she was going to lock the kids in the bathroom or something, and we'll go at it on the couch or something, but it was like, I could see the relief on her face, which is like, oh, thank God. I was dreading, you know, I just worked all day, and I was expecting to come home and have to do that too. But the fact that I had done it, it was just like this huge relief. And I could see it come across her face when she walked through the door, and, you know, shit was clean, and I'm folding laundry, and you could smell, you know, dinner going, and she's just like, ah, yeah. And I never forgot that. Like, it didn't mean I did it all the time. I'm just saying, like, that was one memory where I nailed it. And all it was like, oh, I'm going to do this stuff. I decided I'm going to do this, and this. And I didn't do it for payback, you know? I didn't do it and go, oh, I expect to get something out of this. No, I just did it. And I think that was the biggest part. That was the biggest service, was the relief on her face was enough. It was just like, I saw that I had done well. Because she was just like, oh, thank God. These fucking kids. You know, like, oh my God, these fucking kids. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. She was
in the quiz, I noticed that they ask a lot, like, I ask you, like, would you rather have this, or would you rather, like, is this more meaningful over this? And a lot of it is, if someone did something to relieve stress, or to take something off your hands to where you're already in a stressful place, and by doing this extra thing, and they're relieving you, or doing something you're dreading, and they take care of it for you, like, that's how it is. That's how, I mean, I think that's I rock with this one, but I don't know. I think I do this one. I mean,
you mean more than others on the list?
I do, but it just kind of seems like it's a natural thing to where I don't pay attention to if I'm doing it or not.
So you're saying you do this often? This is one of the things that comes easier to you?
I think so.
Nice. Well, then somebody should marry you, listeners. Somebody come get this guy. He's a keeper. No? Yeah. Well,
I'm flying free.
How about give us an example
of doing an act of service?
Mm-hmm.
If you're in town and I don't know if that's a gift, but it's just like, oh hey, I'm here at Dutch Bros. I'm coming back. You want something?
Yeah.
But then, a lot of times too is like if someone did something for you, you want to do the same thing. It just kind of keeps on going.
Yeah.
Like, so like some of this stuff too, where it's just like, hey, you bought me this last time. All right, yeah, I'll buy you this next time. Or just kind of like, I got you back.
Yeah.
Or you use someone's car and you fill it up with gas because it's like, hey, you let me use your car. Thank you. And hey, I put gas. Like, that seems fair, but it's also like, you went and got them gas. They didn't have to get it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a service, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Even too, like, I think if you're going somewhere and, somebody you care about, you're like, hey, I'm going to the store, you want something, like, I'll get it for you, like, it doesn't matter, it's just...
You could have whatever you like.
It's just like a gesture of, like, I got you. I'm here at your service.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just, like I said, that's naturally just how things are always been. Because I have people in my life that will do the same. Like,
yeah.
Hey, I'm going to this gas station, you want anything? Or, but I know that's arresting too, because we're always like,
yeah, making that
far away
trip
from some place, and it's like, hey, I'm going out that way. You want me to bring something back? But I mean, it's still got the service. I mean, that does. When I first said it, like, it didn't really mean anything. It does mean something because it feels good to know, oh, this person was thinking about me, and they went out of their way to do something, or they didn't need to do this, but they still did, because, again, it's like someone showing appreciation, and you appreciating what they're doing. Seems like that's what this one is.
Yeah, at some point, just to argue the opposite, or devil's advocate or something, I don't know where it was. I think it was like a relationship article, and it caught my eye because it said there was like pitfalls to avoid.
Wow.
It might have been on Google. They do the news titles up there, and one of the things that came up, it was related to this, but it said a pitfall of it was doing the service bank, where you keep track. And I was saying, like, oh, well, like, if you start having an argument or you're about to go outside to go see the boys, you're like, oh, well, hey, I did this for you. Why can't I go out? Like, why are you going to fight with us? Like, it was saying that was a bit of a pitfall area.
Yeah.
Where if you begin to keep track, then it becomes problematic, and people start comparing, oh, well, this is worth 3 trips, versus what you did, and that's only worth 1. And it was a pitfall. It was like, yeah, it's good to do people favors, but don't keep track.
Yeah.
Because like you said, oh, you guys just do it. It's a natural thing. Like, oh, I'm gonna go to the store, like, and they do it too, and you do it enough times, it's just natural. And then the problem arises when you start keeping track. So it's all good if you do it just out of the kindness of your heart, or not even that, but just doing it.
Yeah.
Is the difference maker there. And I think that was another pitfall that I had fallen in, but didn't realize it until after the fact. We were keeping track. It's like, hey, I did this for you. You know, give me a break here. Or, you know, we hung out last time. This time I want to go out with my homeboys. Like,
yeah.
Hey, we took my last days off.
Yeah.
No one do this. Like, it's one of those pitfalls to be avoided that you can fall into, and it's a trap. But so yeah, I think it can be slippery. This is one of those ones, or people doing the acts of service with an expectation of getting something.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I was going to say. I was like, when your motives are influencing your services, acts of services, or whatever, then you know you're somewhat calculating what you should get in return, and when there's
you're evaluating it like, this is worth, you know, two handies.
That's such a Everybody Loves Raymond episode where he's like, you know, I'll do this and then we'll do that. You know, it's kind of a classic. That's classic sitcom where I'm doing this in exchange. You're gonna let me do that later, but not telling you. And then you find out, and that this whole time I had this plan.
Yeah.
You should, and it wasn't sincere.
Yeah.
So I guess, like, when we're talking about, like, even the feel, the love take is like it's not so much calculating how often, but it's almost like maybe the sincerity.
Yeah.
Because I think like that, like, a lot of times someone could be doing something nice out of kindness, but it's like, it's not sincere, or you don't feel sincere. Yeah. Or, like you're saying, like, it's I fucked up and I'm just doing whatever to try to get on your good side, you know, like there's other intentions, or there's other things in the background that are, this isn't fulfilling, you know, this isn't. Yeah. Or the great. No. Sometimes the greatest gesture can be ruined entirely because you find out, there was expectation. So it's like, hey, thank you, and then you realize, that's why you did it. And it's like, loses all its value, doesn't it? Well, you feel you weren't included on the impulse, so you feel kind of maybe manipulated or used, or exactly, or like not last to the party, but just sort of like, I'm the naive one, not knowing what's happening. That's dangerous. You tricked me, you know. Well, that's the big thing. Like, especially in a relationship with somebody, it's like, dang, you don't want to be tricked. You don't want to be lied to. You don't want to be held hostage for by a good deed. God help you if you're held hostage by a good deed. You know. Look, we're. I think our battery's about to die.
This doesn't happen often, but I think it's about to die. So, I think that's it. Like,
I think we got it.
I think we've managed to show there's some good and bad throughout all 5 of these languages, and I think you just made a good point that the sincerity and keeping track, like that can be a pitfall for every single one of these. You're trying to give a gift with the expectation of getting one. You give quality time with the expectation of having quality time somewhere else. You say words because you expect words. You do services because you want it back, and physical touch is kind of a touchy one, but I'm saying, like, that too can have its own pitfalls. Oh, I rubbed your back because I wanted my back rubbed in the first place. You know? So there's a sincerity to all of these. And I think, again, like, if you're going to go by this book or, you know, take anything from what we said, I think it's knowing yourself. This involves knowing yourself and what you need, and knowing your partner or whoever it is you're giving love to, whether it be a stranger, family member, loved one, partner, girlfriend, or whatever. It's like, you can do everything right in the world in your mind, but you're not taking care of the need, then that it doesn't get satisfied. The love tank, as Sky put it, or maybe the book put it, is on empty. And I think just simply having a conversation or reassessing for yourself what's going on here, acknowledging the dragon or elephant in the room, you're a lot better off doing that than ignoring it or doing simple fixes. I think sincerity is a key word here. Like, even when it came to the gift giving, I did better when I was well thought out and planned and on purpose versus last minute. Which I'm a big failure at. Like, I am a huge procrastinator, and I don't think down the road. Like, I always forget the holidays. It's like they come along and I'm like, oh crap. So I put myself in that position of giving bad gifts. You know, that's my own thing. But not recognizing that is not acknowledging the problem, and it's just going to grow. So I think that's my last words here. I don't know if Sky's got any last words, but like that's the gist right there.
That's the gist of it.
Yeah.
You can take the quiz online.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that. We'll
see. But I'm tapped out, man.
I'm burned out, dude.
This is I would. I mean, don't go off of what I'm saying, but like, yeah, look into it if you want to learn more. But like, I think it's just, like I said, it's not one thing; it's all these other things, and you almost get a better grasp on it as you get older. So you know. It's always an evolving thing. So.
Yeah. You make a good point there. I think Garry Chapman, the writer of this book, I think he chose 5 to simplify it. Like, please, you idiot men, read this so that you figure it out. Or, you know, for anybody who's reading his book, he chose 5. But as we all know, in reality, there's, you know, we're all as different as snowflakes and fingerprints. So I think the key takeaway from this is you need to find out what language is yours and what language is hers or his or however you want to put it, and fucking fill that tank up. And I have to say, it's gonna sound selfish, but I believe it's hard not to sound selfish, but I think it's very important to take care of yourself first so that you have the capacity to take care of others. I don't think that's said enough, because it does come off as selfish when you say take care of yourself first. But like I said, if you're on empty already, you're not going to have the capacity to share love and get, you can't spare love if you're lacking in love yourself. Cool?
Yeah.
There you have it.
You said it, man.
Yeah, man. I got all the answers. Nah. All right. Well, thank you for listening, everybody. I really enjoyed this one. I feel like I got to get some good points out there and even reflect on my own relationships. Sky, do you have a certain what people to look for so they can take the same quiz?
Nah, just the 5 love languages quiz. It'll probably pop up in the autumn.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's not too long, but it's a good amount of questions.
Cool. Well, there you go, people. Thank you for tuning in tonight. This is the Natives in America podcast on the Reservation Radio Network with me and Sky.
Peace.
Peace.